the University of Arkansas.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Woo Pig Sooie.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, I'm excited about today's show, and not just because it's Friday and it's the end of the week, and you got a game day tomorrow on the Hill with Arkansas basketball taking on Tulsa, but as we've been promoting now for a little more than a week, we are doing our radio show today at Wheeler Power Sports, right next to downtown Fort Smith, 901 11th, where they're having a Roxor Christmas open house event. Phil Elson here, Ty Richardson. Thanks to Matty T, who's running things back in the studios at ESPN Arkansas headquarters. And I've already had all the fun I need, so I guess I'm done with the show, Ty, and you can carry it for the next 2 hours because I got to drive. Essentially, it's the first time I've ever driven a motorcycle, although this Polaris Slingshot that they, for some reason, lost their mind and let me test drive.
By yourself, not with someone in the vehicle, by yourself.
Well, you were supposed to be there, but unfortunately you broke the seatbelt when you sat down, I guess.
Yeah.
It's working now, by the way, now that you're not sitting in that chair. I got to drive this thing around the block, and Ty, you're lucky I didn't book onto 540 and take it up the road to Fayetteville, because I got to tell you what, even on a day like today where it might be a little bit chilly, but the sun is out, and it's actually a nice day, I think, if you're dressed properly to be driving a motorcycle or I don't even know what to call the Slingshot. I guess it's a motorcycle or it's just a fun vehicle. It's 3 wheels. As long as I got my sock hat on, which it is a sock hat, Ty.
You said my hair was a sock hat?
Your hair is your sock hat. That's why I looked like I was cold on our video stream. I want to take that thing up to Fayetteville for the rest of the weekend. Do you think they'll be all right if I just jet out of here with that vehicle for the rest of the weekend, and then on my way back to Little Rock Sunday, just drop it off and pick up my usual boring 4-door sedan? Because that vehicle's anything but boring, I'll tell you that.
I think you might have to sign over some waiver or something, relinquishing liability onto yourself. Or you could just do it over the station, and Tommy, I'm sure he'd be okay with that. Just let you do that if something were to happen. But no, if you haven't seen the video, go to our Facebook page at Hit That Line ESPN Arkansas, and you can watch Phil. And Phil jet streams out of the parking lot like he wasn't taking this thing easy. And then he comes flying too. It's a pretty funny video, and Phil's really excited. And now I think I'm going to get a chance to ride with him after the show, which I'm really excited about. And again, they're having the Rockstar Open House here by Mahindra. So today and tomorrow, you can also get a chance to come test drive one of these Rockstars out, and then get a chance, if you like it, which is an awesome vehicle. Something Phil and I did is drive over little gravel hills, and it's a really good outdoor vehicle that you need to take advantage of here.
That's what you did. You got to drive the other one slowly that's not street legal yet. I got to drive the one that probably gets up to a little more MPHs than the Roxor, and I guess I might as well be honest about it. I fishtailed a little bit on my way out of here.
100%.
Just a little bit. But it is a stick shift, so it reminded me of what I actually learned to drive on. I don't know if we have our generational gap button handy on a live show time, but he's never driven a stick shift, so he doesn't know how to do it, so you lost out on the fun of driving that Slingshot.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I've had a couple buddies, Phil, growing up that their initial car was a stick shift, so they learned early on. But myself, I just had an old 98 Ram that I used to drive, then I transitioned to a 2005 Hyundai, and now I have my 2017 Toyota Camry that I got from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. So I really haven't had to drive a stick shift, but it's a good habit, or it's a good quality to learn. It's a good something that you should probably know, and I should probably get on that. So there it is.
All right,
see,
Matty T knows his way around a studio like anybody's business. Probably better than I know my way around a Polaris Slingshot or even the Roxor. Although that Roxor, I tell you, that's an interesting vehicle too. Looks like a tank on wheels. And so you can come out and test drive all of these things. They've got all the accessories for motorcycle riders at Wheeler Power Sports. Great sales staff, really friendly, and they're grilling hot dogs. Nathan's hot dogs too, my man.
Big dogs.
Now, I'm never allowed to say that on the Razorback broadcasts because that's all a ballpark deal, and Petty Jean Meats and Tyson and all that kind of stuff. You know the best hot dog is a Nathan's hot dog.
100%. And I think the 4th of July tradition, outside of just shooting fireworks, is you wake up and you watch Joey Chestnut. I know Kobayashi's not participating anymore, but it's one of my favorite things to do on 4th of July. It's just what you do, man. So they're feeding you. We got a couple gift cards we're giving away. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, some Fort Smith Brewing Company. And you can just come by, and if you want to throw eggs at me after the show, you can do that as well.
So, again, we're at Wheeler Power Sports. That's at 901 North 11th Street, right at the corner of 11th and J, near downtown Fort Smith. And we'll be out here until 2 o'clock. And they've got the Roxor Christmas Open House event going all the way until tomorrow, too. So, yeah, we were excited to be here, but maybe more excited that it looks like Sam Pittman might have made his first splashy hire for the coaching staff. If reports are true, and Football Scoop says this is coming from footballscoop.com, that Barry Odom is expected to take the job as the defensive coordinator at Arkansas. And it's their sources, Football Scoop sources, that say that he's planning to join Sam Pittman's staff as the defensive coordinator. And I think that goes along with the other bit of news for a Division I school that's nearby, or at least close-ish, that Memphis is going to promote Ryan Silverfield, who's currently the interim head coach and has been the run game coordinator and offensive line coach. You said that yesterday. You're right. And I thought they might have more of a national search, but they're going to go with more of a continuation of their coaching staff. I think Odom was holding out to see what happened at Memphis before he made up his mind. And it seems like a good thing all the way around that now Memphis is taking the interim title off Silverfield, giving him the full-time job, and that frees Odom up to look for other positions, which now might be defensive coordinator at Arkansas. That's a big get for Sam Pittman if it's true.
Yeah, massive. And you and I have talked about on the program, as well as some others, how important it is to get a head coach on the staff. And this is just a trickle-down effect in college football because Memphis is promoting within. You're going to, what looks like, based on what Football Scoop is reporting, get Barry Odom, get a former head coach on your staff, and hopefully have a solid defense in the future. Phil, you think back to 2007, the trickle-down effect. You can talk about Drew Brees not getting cleared to play for the Miami Dolphins. You can talk about Rich Rod almost getting that Alabama job. There were so many things that had to go right for Nick Saban to end up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Now it happened, so you're hoping, obviously, I'm not comparing, Sam Pittman's not going to be Nick Saban. What you're hoping is you can get a good trickle-down effect to go your way at this time at Arkansas. Because I think it was Bo on the Hog Pod that mentioned you've now had 5 head coaches in 10 years. That's not a transition you want to continuously go through. I know you've had some interims in that time that people question whether it's head coaching or not, but the fact of the matter is this program has been cycling through. It's not the same rock-solid transition you've had with Dave Van Horn and Norm DeBryan. You can even say the basketball program with Eddie Sutton and Nolan, yes, there's been a little more turnover since then, but it's been better than that. So you hope, as Sam Pittman has said many times, he wants to retire as the Arkansas head coach. He wants to be the guy that sets up the next guy where Arkansas can get to that next level, and hopefully he can get to that next level at some point in his tenure as well, Phil.
Your calls and texts throughout the show today, 877-377-6963 is our Cherokee Casino hotline. We'll be talking about these outstanding vehicles, especially the Roxor by Mahindra, throughout the show today with some of the salespeople here at Wheeler Power Sports. Which, by the way, it's right. If you come out this way, you go down Garrison away from the river, and you're going to want to make a left onto North 11th Street. The street does split, so you got a one-way each side, but that's the best way to get here. And again, we're at 901 North 11th Street, right there at the corner of 11th and J. Wheeler Power Sports, all throughout the show. Also brought to you by our friends at the Fenceman. If you own a new business that needs more security or just needs more curb appeal, a new fence from the Fenceman can give you both. They specialize in custom installations, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. Gates, controlled access card readers. The Fenceman can be over for a quick no-obligations quote, and all you got to do is call Henry at 479-782-3936. That's the Fenceman, a division of Quantum Property Services. So if Barry Odom is the defensive coordinator, he's going to be down one safety apparently. Cam Curl is heading to the NFL draft. I think he was the Arkansas's best defensive player this past season. That's not saying a lot, but there are a lot of things that Cam Curl brings, I think, even as a professional defensive back as a safety. So you'll be looking for a new safety, but you got a guy in Odom who's built some good defenses there at Mizzou. Their lack of success this year was not about defense, although they did get shredded by Wyoming on the road. But really after that, this is a team that played really good defense all year long, and you're going to have a a guy who's had a 4-year run as a head coach at his alma mater, who knows the SEC, that's taking over as the DC at Arkansas. Again, if Football Scoops reports are true. We're here at Wheeler Power Sports until 2 o'clock. Come out and see us, or you can call us at 877-377-6963. We are right back.
Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. You're listening to Halftime.
The connections.
This is the Morning Rush.
I do know that Sam Pittman wanted this job. He wanted to be the head coach of Arkansas so badly. He was texting people. He was calling people. He was saying, I want this job, and I will do whatever it takes to prove myself for this job. Luckily for Arkansas, Hunter Yurachek appreciated that, and it resonated with him. So that's why he decided to make the hire of Sam Pittman.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings.
Matty
Jumbo
T,
wings
what does
roasted
your
with honey
clock
bacon
say right
jam.
now
Want
as
some
you're looking
spice?
at
Try
it
the
on
black and
NextGen?
blue wings. Experience their salads.
What does your
flatbreads,
clock say
coffees and
right
desserts,
now on
top
NextGen
shelf
as you look
wines
at
and
it?
liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape.
We're synced
906
up there for
Cocktail
now,
and
but I
Cigar
think for a
Lounge.
moment
Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for all repairs. Paintless Dent Repair, door dings, unsightly dents, and hail damage repair, all repaired to like new conditions. With over 1 million repaired vehicles with satisfied customers, Michael Littleton is the expert in paintless repair. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, conveniently located 3 miles from the Arcoma exit off Highway 112. Or call 479-461-9764. Your number one Arkansas fan.
It's cold outside. Did you know many natural gas appliances can operate even when the power is out? Natural gas fireplaces, gas logs, space heaters, ranges, grills, outdoor lights, and backup generators will operate when you need them the most. Install efficient, safe, and reliable natural gas appliances today. It's the right choice. Call 784-2000 or visit AOGC.com to experience the benefits of natural gas today. AOG. Energy for life.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Kohler & Green Insurance in Fort Smith. Just call 484-9888. And Kohler & Green Insurance in Van Buren. Call 474-9888. And online, kohlergreen.com.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine and Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
The second location for Whole Hog Cafe in Fort Smith is now open. Located on the east side of town on Phoenix Avenue, next to Dollar General and across from Interstate Batteries. Serving that award-winning Memphis-style barbecue and all your favorite sides, Monday through Saturday, 11 till 8. Pickup orders for Whole Hog Cafe Phoenix Avenue can be placed at 646-2495 or at wholehogfortsmith.com. Whole Hog Cafe's second location on Phoenix Avenue is now open.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown!
Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Joe from the top of the key just banked in a three-pointer. He banked it in from the top of the key. Hogs are up 22-19.
Hey, we'll take it, buddy. We will definitely take it.
We'll be talking Arkansas basketball later on in the show. We'll give a preview of Arkansas versus Tulsa, which is, it's about 24 hours away. 24 hours and 15 minutes, or I guess 17 minutes, because they usually do the tip-off at, like 2 past the bottom of the hour or the top of the hour. This should be a pretty good basketball game, by the way. Arkansas and Tulsa. Hogs 8-1, Tulsa's 8-2. I think it should be a pretty decent game.
This will be my nephew's first Arkansas basketball game.
Ooh, it's a big one. How old?
Let's see. Henry, I think, is 6, and Bear's 4. So this will be.
So you're the wizened older cousin or older nephew, right?
Uncle.
Uncle. You're the uncle.
I'm
Good
the
enough.
uncle, yeah.
I guess I should listen to every word you say.
So this is
fear for these kids.
Very similar to when my grandpa took me and my brother, and then obviously my dad to games. Dad wasn't as into it because he's a Baylor grad, but that was like Mig. And there's pictures of me and Joey in Bud Walton Arena as a kid. Those are very memories that you treasure early on. I mean, I know that you've taken your two kiddos to games. It's just something like growing up as an Arkansas fan. I know there's a lot of people listening that can probably remember their first football game or first basketball game. It's an experience, and I think tomorrow being a 12:30 game, being that Saturdays, there's a decent amount of Saturday games that have sold out so far this season. I think you're going to see a pretty lively crowd, especially since the coaching search is over. There's no high school football anymore. I think you're going to see a pretty packed house on Saturday in Bud Walton Arena, Phil.
I'm definitely interested to see how the team plays after their first loss. I mean, strings of wins are nice. You're eventually going to lose, but a lot of it has to do with what happens after you lose and how you respond to that.
People are pretty excited. This is Doug from Mountain Home about Barry Odom's, what looks to be hired. Again, this is not confirmed. The U of A has not put this out yet, but Football Scoop is reporting that he's getting the DC job. And, Phil, I think that kind of like Doug and Mountain Home saying, I mean, that's just a massive get for Arkansas. You were getting a sitting head coach as of like a week ago.
Yeah, that's huge. It really is. And, I mean, didn't Pittman tweet to Odom after he made his statement about Mizzou and wishing them the best in the future and all that kind of stuff that you never saw from Chad Morris and won't.
Still haven't seen it.
Don't expect it now. He's already recruiting against Arkansas.
It's been I think 33 days is what's one of my buddy put out on Twitter.
But Pittman tweeted to him, said how great of a coach he is, how good of friends they are, and at that point we didn't know Sam Pittman really was. I even think one of the candidates being taken seriously as the potential head coach at Arkansas. So it's a great get. It really is. Barry Odom, with his reputation defensively and really what he's built at Missouri for the last 4 years, it's a team that I know they had bigger expectations than what did they finish, 6-6? They did get bowl eligible, but they found out a couple of days before it that it didn't matter whether they were eligible or not.
By the way, shame on the NCAA for not. I know it's Missouri and everyone listening hates Mizzou, but you gotta let them know prior to a week before. I feel like that shouldn't have taken that long. I don't think, but it seems like the NCAA, however they're trying to get to the solution, they go about it the most convoluted way possible to end up at that point, Phil.
So just looking at where they rank in some of the statistics, Mizzou was 14th in the nation, 3rd in the SEC in total defense, allowing 312 yards per game, 6th best rushing defense in the conference, 33rd in the nation, 133 yards per game on the ground allowed. And if I can find pass defense here, they were 7th in the country. 7th in the country at passing yards allowed, 2nd best in the SEC, less than 180 yards per game. They didn't get a lot of sacks. Ranked worst in the SEC at sacking the opponent's quarterback. And didn't necessarily force a ton of turnovers, but they must have tackled well and they must have covered well.
Well, I think people will pretty much ask for anything based on the defense that you've seen under John Chavis, and I feel like I stood out because I thought John Chavis was not necessarily over the hill, but I didn't think that was going to be a hire that worked out at Arkansas, because we had conversation with Texas A&M radio hosts, Baton Rouge radio hosts, and they felt like John Chavis was on his last leg. And when you get to Arkansas, you have to be a little craftier. You have to be a little smarter because you're not going to get the same type of talent than you would in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or College Station, Texas. You have to have a little better scheme, just think scheme better and everything else that goes into it, and it just didn't work out. Now you're hoping that it seems like if Barry Odom ends up actually getting this job, that you hope there's still a fire lit in him. And I'd be ticked. Like, you got fired by your alma mater.
Absolutely.
You get to play them now every year. If that's not motivation enough to put up a good defensive effort, I know it's going to be difficult based on the current roster in its state and the fact that Cam Girl is heading off to the NFL, but there's going to be a motivation factor. I guarantee you, Barry Odom, the day he steps foot on the University of Arkansas campus, he's going to be ready to go.
By the way, Ty, somebody forgot to tell Tulane University that John Chavis was on his last leg. He took the job as the defensive coordinator at Tulane, working for Willie Fritz now. So John Chavis isn't done. I thought he might retire when he was done at Arkansas, but this is obviously a football lifer, and he doesn't view his football life as being over yet.
Some guys don't want to give it up, but I understand it. Like, that's what they do. I'll be curious to see if I can stay in the radio industry for this long, when I'll eventually give it. You know, just how it is. Like, you do something for so long, you don't feel like that you can do anything outside of that particular thing. I know that Kobe Bryant has talked about this before. It's so weird. Now that he's retired, he doesn't know what to do at his time, and he tries to make as much of it as possible. But when you get in that mindset, when you set your schedule and set your agenda based on doing something for 20-some-odd years, in Chavis, I don't know how long he's been a coach, but he's been in the SEC since the 90s. It's hard to get away from, man. Absolutely.
So it's crazy when you look at how things are shaking out now. I know there are still staffs to be built at Ole Miss and at Mizzou and to round out the staff at Arkansas. But just think about this. There are now 3 former head coaches that were coaching a month ago, or I guess in Chad Morris's case 5 weeks ago, that are now assistants in the SEC. I mean, this is the thing that just blew me away about Morris going to Auburn. It's not like it's not expected. It's just to be blown out by Auburn. When was that game? Early October this year?
I think so. Yeah, because Bama Auburn back-to-back, or Auburn Bama.
So it was October. To be blown out by Auburn in October, to be fired 5 weeks after that, or 4 weeks after that, and then 4 weeks later to be working for Auburn in the same division. Matt Luke goes from Ole Miss head coach, now he's Georgia's O-line coach. That's a guy who left his alma mater. Barry Odom from Mizzou. Now it's still not announced, but Football Scoop reporting that Barry Odom will be the defensive coordinator at Arkansas.
We're waiting for that notification.
You get Chad Morris going to Auburn, and well, I mean, those are all 3 coaches that lost their jobs in the SEC. So I guess there won't be any other head coaches that are taking coordinator positions in the SEC just yet. But I mean, then that leaves open the possibility still, and we kicked this around yesterday. Who's the offensive coordinator? I question that Chip Long will be the OC at Arkansas. Although, maybe he and Brian Kelly didn't get along at Notre Dame, but I don't see his landing spot at Arkansas. Probably a job with more of a higher profile when the coaching thing shakes out across the rest of the country. What about Major Applewhite? I think that might make sense. What about Rich Rodriguez? If you're going the head coach route, you got a head coach as your DC now. What about a former head coach as your offensive coordinator? And that's one really nice way to get a guy in Sam Pittman who this obviously his first Power 5 or Division I head coaching job, and allow him to take that CEO approach, because you have coaches that have experience running entire teams, and now they get to have more of that laser focus on one aspect of it and let Pittman do the CEO thing.
One of the things that makes leaders great is their ability to delegate. And one of the things that's going to be important during Sam Pittman's tenure is he gets the right guy to delegate. For all intents and purposes, this Barry Odom supposed hire that we're hearing from Football Scoop looks like a good hire. If he can get a good OC to go along with that, we've heard that Justin Stepp is going to be retained as the wide receivers coach, which I don't know if you saw Mike Wood's video, but they're very excited to have him back. Those guys love Stepp. I don't know if there's a group of wide receivers in the country that love their wide receiver coach more than the Arkansas kids do. you just got to be able to get some talented coaches in here, because I know that you and I have mentioned this several times with the Broyles Award being divvied out to Joe Brady the past couple days, and the fact that Arkansas really hasn't had production from their assistants like you're so used to with Jimmy Johnson and Pete Carroll, and just so, whether it's GAs, OCs, DCs, assistant coaches, that has been such a gold mine is Arkansas football assistants, and it just has not been the case the last couple of years, and that's why Bielema's tenure fell apart, and you could say that's why Chad Morris's tenure never got started, because the on-the-field production wasn't what it needed to be for those Arkansas assistant coaches. You hope that Stepp gets better while he's at Arkansas under Pittman. You hope that that Brad Davis is a really good O-line coach. You hope that this supposed Barry Odom is going to work out, because Arkansas needs to have some talented assistant coaches. That absolutely is instrumental for this program to get back on track. You can't just rely on the head coach. You need guys surrounding him to turn this thing around.
Come on out and see us at Wheeler Power Sports today up until 2 o'clock, corner of 11th and J near downtown, right off Garrison, just a few blocks off Garrison on North 11th Street during the Roxor Christmas Open House event. They'll let you test drive some things. You can take a look at all of this outstanding inventory, which includes any accessory for a motorcycle rider. And they're cooking hot dogs, Nathan's Hot Dogs, so that alone is a great reason to come out. We're also brought to you by Ice Cold Coors Light leading into the weekend.
Exactly right. Ice cold, cold filtered, cold lagered, cold package, always cold. The world's most refreshing beer. It's got the cold Mountain Blue on the front of your can, so you know when the mountains turn blue. What are you supposed to do, Phil?
You go for two.
Exactly right. Coors Light, made to chill.
We're going to take two. We come back with Aaron Torres of the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast on halftime, so stick around.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
This is Mark Hurst, and at Hurst Family Dental Care, we want to take time out of our busy schedules to remember the real reason we celebrate Christmas. In the first chapter of the Gospel of John, it says that Jesus left heaven and took up residence among us. It's that birth in the little town of Bethlehem that we celebrate at Christmas. So on behalf of my family and the team at Hurst Family Dental Care, I want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hurst Family Dental Care in Van Buren.
Save up to $2,700 or no interest for 5 years on a brand new Hot Springs hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. The holiday sale is going on right now. Every hot tub in stock is on sale with over 60 luxury spas to choose from, and they start at just $26.95. Right now is the time. This includes delivery, cover, and startup chemicals. Stay warm and cozy this winter in your brand new hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas. It's the perfect gift for you and your family. And right now, up to $2,700 off or no interest for 5 years on a brand new Hot Springs hot tub. And as part of the holiday sale, check out the full line of Big Green Eggs and accessories at Burton Pools and Spas. It's the holiday sale going on right now at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Football Edition. This is how you say, game tonight. Bring Bud Light. Fantasy fees are due. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light, crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Make this Christmas a Christmas they'll never forget with the late model extra clean vehicle from Hertz Car Sales. Find your special loved one the gift that makes Christmas last for thousands and thousands of miles. Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard today and find there's no better way to buy your next vehicle just in time for Christmas. Call them today at 783-1722 or check out the great selections of vehicles in stock at buyfromhertz.com. Merry Christmas from Hertz Car Sales. What are you waiting for?
Can you hear that? Is it Santa?
Well, I know. It's David Neal at Road Chevrolet inviting you to take home your new car or truck from Road Chevy. It's employee discounts for all month long. Our remaining 2019 Silverado Z71 crew cabs up to $15,000 off. Or the new 2020 Chevrolet Equinox up to $6,000 off. Don't wait. They'll be gone in a wink. Road Chevrolet exit 2A off of I-540 in Van Buren. That's RHODES Chevy.com. Find new roads.
See dealer for details.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Upgrade your evening on the Avenue. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
6 straight wins for the Arkansas Razorbacks, knocking on the door, the top 25. Final in Fort Collins.
Welcome back to Halftime on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com. Phil Elson, Ty Richardson. We're efforting Aaron Torres from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, and we'll have him coming up in a minute. Come out and see us here at Wheeler Power Sports, just a few blocks off of Garrison, off the river, North 11th Street, right at the corner of North 11th and J. And tell me what you think it's like to finally be able to test drive one of these Polaris slingshots, a three-wheeler that is really just a motorcycle, and it was crazy. All right, I think AT's on the line with us here. Aaron Torres, host of the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, host on Fox Sports Radio, Kentucky Sports Radio, right now on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. AT, we're on location today doing a show at a power sports dealership. So there's motorcycles, there's off-roaders here, and then there's this Polaris slingshot, which looks like kind of a cross between a DeLorean and a motorcycle with 3 wheels. So have you ever ridden a motorcycle? Is this anything AT's ever done before?
No, Phil. You know, the only thing that I do that's hazardous for my health is occasionally watch Arkansas football. But other than that, no, too soon. I'm sorry.
No, it's not
sorry.
too soon. It's just
are you
truth.
Guys is the connection all of a sudden breaking up? Am I? Can you no longer hear me? Am I getting thrown off the air right now? I'm kidding. I love you guys. I love coming on with you guys, and I'm happy to see that the coaching search is settled. And but no, I have never ridden a motorcycle before. I can definitively say that. And it's one of those things, you know, sometimes see Phil, Ty one day will be an old guy like us, and you get to be about our age, you just start checking stuff off the list that you just say, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I just don't think I'm ever going to do that. And I think the window for me to ride a motorcycle has officially passed. I don't see myself when I'm 50, going for a second ex-wife in a motorcycle or anything like that. I think that time in my life has passed me.
Well, hey, man, at 42, I'm going through what feels like, I guess, like a 7 or 8 year midlife crisis, if you want to call it that. So I feel I've still got some time to learn to drive a motorcycle and I'm not going to put it in those terms, because you do it the right way, you're going to be as safe as it gets. So, I mean, you mentioned Arkansas football here, and I want to get your perspective as somebody that does pay attention to Arkansas football, but not as an Arkansan, not as a fan. And a lot of people that are fans of Arkansas are excited about the Sam Pittman hire because he is tough, or they think will instill toughness, and because he really wanted the job. But from your perspective, from the perspective of somebody that does know this program a little bit, what does this hire look like to you?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know this stuff as well as you guys. I know this has obviously probably been the big topic of conversation this week for you guys on this show. All I can tell you is what I've heard from people in football, heard from people in Arkansas, in the media, maybe people who saw him up close and in person the last couple of years when he was when he was a member of the coaching staff a few years ago. And that's that. All I've heard is everything that you guys have already talked about. Is one, I think it's important to note he wanted this job. This was not a fallback option to him. He was not using this as leverage to get somewhere else. I think that carries weight. I think that carries weight with the fan base. And then the other thing is the thing that I've noticed as well, seems to be very well respected in the coaching community. I mean, I've seen the potential Barry Odom rumors. I haven't been online, so I don't know if anything's official, but, I've seen the rumors. I've seen the rumors of who some of the offensive coordinators might need to be. I'll tell you this, guys. I think we all know this. I think even Arkansas fans know this and are realistic about it, is that this is going to be a rebuild. It's going to take a while, but I do think, this is a guy that wants to be there, that wants to build this thing organically, that wants to build it from the inside out, along the lines and all that stuff. And like I said, from the likes of, the sounds of the coaching staff that he's hiring, he's going to need time, but I have optimism that he can at least get things going in the right direction, which is all anyone can really ask for at this point.
Speaking with Aaron Torres on the Cherokee Casino Hotline, AT, I'm going to ask you a question, then I'm going to follow it up with something. What's your dream job, man?
You know, I don't really know. I'll tell you a funny story because I referenced it recently. I had Sonny Vaccaro on my podcast probably 6 months ago, the Shoe King. He's the guy who really kind of created all these, these shoe contracts that are now very famous in college athletics. And I remember him saying, this wasn't something that I ever planned. My whole life hasn't been something that I've planned. I've just fallen into it. And so I bring that up because for me, I never planned to do radio the way that I do. When I started my career, a thing called a podcast didn't exist. And now I think, frankly, I'm pretty good at it. So the way I look at it, Ty, honestly, I don't have a dream job. I'm living my dream. I get to wake up every day and do what I love. And wherever this thing takes me, I hope I get to keep along this ride because I've enjoyed every moment of it. And, it's a crappy answer, but I don't really have a dream job, to be honest.
Well, what I'm going to continue with that is Sam Pittman has said this has been his dream job. This is where he wants to retire. He's got a lot that he's bought in Hot Springs. And the reason I asked that question is because I want to ask, how much do you think that factors into the motivation and the ultimate success that he could have at Arkansas based on the fact that he says this is his dream job?
Well, I'll reference something that maybe the most successful coach in recent Arkansas State history says often, and that coach is Chris Beard, who was at Little Rock for one season, set a school record in wins. And what he always tells people is he says, I am not a coach's son. I didn't play at Duke or Kansas or Kentucky. And he's like, I only get one shot at this. And I am going to, and the one thing that I can promise you is I am going to give you everything I've got because I know that if I screw this up, I'm not getting a shot somewhere else. And that was what he said when he was at Little Rock. That was what he said when he got to Texas Tech. Now I feel like the track record speaks for itself, where if something, God forbid, happened, he would get another shot. But I bring that up with Sam Pittman because I think there is something to be said for a guy. This isn't, and I'm not even using this name just because he was another candidate for the job. But, Lane Kiffin's got 30 years left in this business, and if it doesn't work at Ole Miss, he's going to be able to bounce back somewhere nicely and maybe even 5 or 10 years from now get another head coaching job. And so I bring that up because I think there's something to be said for a guy who knows this is it. If this doesn't work for Sam Pittman, he's not getting calls from Florida or Georgia or Tennessee in 5 years or 10 years saying, hey, we're going to give you a second shot at running an SEC program. So I think there's something to be said for a guy like that who knows this is his only shot, knows that, like you said, Ty, it's his dream job. And I just think it's kind of a fascinating kind of subplot is like, yeah, he's going to give it his all because he knows he's not getting another chance to run an SEC program if this doesn't work out.
Aaron, we got about a minute left here. So, Ty went to probably the best game in college basketball last weekend at Fog Allen, Kansas, Colorado. Maybe the best game this weekend is Memphis versus Tennessee, number 13 versus number 19. I think a lot of times we put maybe Kentucky, Louisville as the best out-of-conference but in-state matchup in the country. But Memphis, Tennessee, to me, this seems like a rivalry that should have always been around and has the potential of being at the level of Louisville, Kentucky.
Well, I think the thing that makes it really cool for this year is there's real animosity in between these two programs. And I think sometimes in college sports when the players come so fast and the coaches come so fast, the rivalries mean more to the fans than they do the players and the coaches. But this is one where I guarantee this one is personal for Rick Barnes after what happened last year at FedEx Forum. He wants to shut Penny Hardaway up, and he wants to prove that he's got the best program in Tennessee. Of course, Penny Hardaway on the flip side, he wants those in-state bragging rights. Obviously, Memphis, Nashville, the entire state of Tennessee, the entire state of, the entire Southeast really produces a ton of good basketball talent. And he wants to be able to hold that leg up over Rick Barnes. So that's what really stands out to me. I think it'll be a good game. I think Memphis is playing better than people realize without James Wiseman. But I like it because it's personal, because the bad blood is really bad. It's not fabricated by the media. It's real. And I'm with you, Phil. I'm excited to watch this one tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping for like a John Calipari, John Chaney moment of the postgame
presser.
Yeah, that would be great. Threaten someone's life. AT, we always appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend, and we'll be listening into your to the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, the next download.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good afternoon.
It's Aaron Torres, host of the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. We're brought to you by Rhodes Chevrolet. David Neal and the guys at Rhodes want to invite you to take home your new car or truck from Rhodes Chevrolet. Got employee discount pricing for all right now, all month long. That includes remaining 2019 Silverado Z71 crew cabs up to $15,000 off. The new 2020 Chevrolet Equinox is up to $6,000 off. Don't wait. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Rhodes Chevrolet is at Exit 2A off I-540 in Van Buren. RhodesChevrolet.com on the web, and you can see the dealer for more details. We're here at Wheeler Power Sports at the corner of 11th and J near downtown Fort Smith. Come out and see us, or you can call us now at 877-377-6963. Calls and texts there on the Cherokee Casino hotline. Halftime is right back.
Don't spend life sitting on your hands. You're listening to Halftime.
This holiday season, give your loved ones the best present a sports fan can get. An excuse to drink beer, eat wings, and watch games all day. Buy $25 in gift cards and pocket a $5 bonus to Buffalo Wild Wings for yourself. While you're being brilliant, ask us about our party menu. Don't miss the fun part, the party part. Be the host with the most and serve Buffalo Wild Wings while basking in the glory of nailing. 'Tis the season for wings and cheer.
Watch out! It's the sideline! The Jet! Touchdown, Arkansas!
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half price. And all beers on tap are half price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Do you hear that Coors Light being poured? It's the perfect temperature. How can I tell just based on the sound? I can't. But I can see that the mountain on the can is blue. And when the mountain is blue, your Coors Light is perfectly cold. Coors Light is cold lagered for a crisper taste, cold filtered for brightness and clarity, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. Doesn't that sound good? 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
That's the secret phone. The what? Remember? I told you my dad's a shelter agent. When that phone rings, he rushes out to save the day. Whether someone's home or car gets damaged, my dad is always there to help. He has the coolest job ever.
Well, my dad's an astronaut.
That's cool too, I guess.
Find your insurance superhero at shelterinsurance.com.
Call me, Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Or call me, Jim Malum in Charleston.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
Evans Body Shop would like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year. We truly appreciate all of our customers, staff, friends, and family for their continued support and dedication. We could not do what we do without our dedicated staff and loyal customers, and we are truly blessed. Please drive safely during this most wonderful time of the year and enjoy the moments with your loved ones. If you do find yourself in an accident, we hope you will remember us at Evans Body Shop, 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
At Chambers Bank, our Arkansas
Arkansas roots grow deep, and you can trust us as your partner for every banking need. From a simple checking account to your first home loan, whatever you need, big or small, we are here for you. With 18 convenient branches throughout the state and a full suite of online banking options, we will always be available when you need us. Family owned in Arkansas since 1930, Chambers is your full-service community bank. Bank with trust at Chambers Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS 631520.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts, we're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Reed at the horn. No! Arkansas wins! The Razorbacks have won it! The Hogs have upset them! 90-89 the final score. Arkansas survives.
Interesting notes here coming from Michael Bratton, who you can follow on Twitter at SEC Mike. He's a news editor at Saturday Down South. Talking about Barry Odom when he was a defensive coordinator at Mizzou and at Memphis. Get a load of these numbers here. Mizzou, 2015, his last year as a defensive coordinator, the Tigers had the 5th best scoring defense in the country and were 6th best in tackles for losses. The year before, when he was DC at Memphis, Odom's D was the 11th best scoring defense in the country and finished 30th in tackles for a loss. Now, this even goes deeper because he inherited a defense before he took over at Memphis as the DC that ranked 105th in scoring and improved that by what? 96 spots or 86 spots in the course of 3 years. I don't know if you're asking for exactly that kind of improvement, but it just seems this is somebody that's built good defenses, and it's a rebuilding job at Arkansas. As bad as the offense was, defense was way down to the bottom.
And you tied that all in together. In order for Arkansas to get back to a point of relevancy, it has to start with rebuilding. And so you like to see your potential next DC to have that on his resume. The fact that he didn't just walk into a situation that was already set up for him. That's why I think some people were skeptical of Mike Norvell, because he walked into the situation after Justin Fuente was the head coach of that job. So you like to see that a DC has come into a situation that was horrible the year before and turned things around. It's going to be a little more difficult to do that probably at Arkansas based on who you play in the SEC, but it's still good to see that in your past.
Jason in Frankfurt wants Bobby Petrino was the offensive coordinator. He texted in. Says, hearing him mention Bobby P's flexibility based on player personnel made my mind wander. So I'd wonder about it too, but I'd wonder why he already isn't hired by somebody. And the personality defects might be a reason why. The scheme is one thing, but you got to get along with the people you're coaching with. And I wonder if he'd get along with Sam Pittman, because that's partially what it's about. Well, we're here at Wheeler Power Sports, a beautiful store here on the inside where they've got all kinds of motorcycle accessories, great inventory of motorcycles, dirt bikes, ATVs, the Polaris Slingshot, and the Roxor by Mahindra. Let's talk with Bill about that. Bill, you're the sales manager here, right?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
So these are – you've been doing this since, I think you told me, what, 1970?
Started in 1970, sure did.
And these Roxor by Mahindras, to me, seem like they're almost a brand new thing. I mean, this Roxor by Mahindra is very sturdy, low to the ground, only for off-roading, and it was simple enough for our friend Ty Richardson here to drive it for 5 minutes without getting hurt.
Indeed it was. He even made it over the gravel hill without any difficulty.
3 times,
yes,
I might say.
And they are very easy to drive. They do have quite a bit of ground clearance, but the center of gravity of them is down low. They are relatively new. They came onto the market here in the United States 2018. Mahindra's been building them for many, many years, 40 years plus. They drive them a lot in other countries, but over here they're off-road, as you stated, only. Built very, very durable, very heavy duty, not many plastic parts on them at all. It's a vehicle you can take out and use and not worry about it. Has a little turbocharged diesel engine, and you can have it with a couple of transmissions, one like you guys drove, the 6-speed automatic, or a 5-speed manual transmission.
That's the one I want to get you to try to drive after I teach you how to drive a stick shift time.
I was gonna say I don't want to break the vehicle. They were already kind enough to let us drive it, and Bill, you let him drive the Slingshot, and he was not cautious about it. He tore out of the parking lot.
No,
he had some fun with it.
Yeah, I think he's driven the manual transmission before, but the Slingshot is a great, fun vehicle, and when you drive it, it makes it difficult to stay in the speed limit parameters with it. It's something that makes you want to have a lot of fun.
So for those of you who would know who this person is, when you handed me the literature about the Roxor by Mahindra,
right?
When you've got a quote from Hunter S. Thompson in there,
yes,
that's going to tell you the kind of vehicle you're getting.
Oh yeah.
When Hunter S. Thompson, I know he's been dead for a while, but this seems to be the kind of vehicle for him.
Oh, it's an off-road vehicle. It's you can take out, and it's going to be very difficult. I mean, there's people that can tear anything up, but this machine has durability in mind.
I think Hunter Thompson could tear up just about anything too.
Yes, yes.
Just to be, you know who we're talking about?
Now you're gonna have to push the generational gap button.
That'll be something. Eventually, I'm going to have to assign you a book to read called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. But give yourself a couple of weeks and maybe make sure you got your sanity where it needs to be.
So I thought it was
generational gap.
There it is. So Bill, I thought it was kind of funny. You told us where we should kind of go right here at Willwood Power Sports in kind of the grassy type muddy area, and you encouraged me. So I see this pile of gravel and these the wetness from just the rain and stuff, and just the water pit. You encouraged me to go through the water pit, and then you encouraged me to go over the gravel. And I'm thinking to myself, my whole life I've been told to do the opposite, avoid obstacles. But this Roxor, man, it's almost like you're encouraged to do just the opposite.
That's entirely correct. And as you saw going over that gravel pile, it just will idle up right over it without really like it's not struggling at all.
Yeah.
So you must have some great deals on these because they've got the open house event right now that Roxor by Mahindra is putting on. What sort of deals can you
we
give us
have
an idea about?
There's a lot of different models. These Roxors are just like the automobile industry. You can order them with different options, so there's not just a package that you have to accept. In other words, if you don't want this item, well, we can basically build one however you want it. But the ones we do have in stock, for instance, the one you drove out there with the automatic, that's a 4-seater, and I guess we should mention that. They come in 2 or 4-seat versions. But that 4-seater out there, for instance, with the automatic and the top and everything, we have about $3,500 off on that unit right now, $3,450 off on that unit, which is quite a bit of money off on that. And similar savings on the other models, all the way from the base models, which have approximately a couple $1,000s on them, up to the top of the line ones.
This sucker can run 55 miles per hour.
Can it really?
They actually they made an improvement. We got here 45 miles an hour last year's model. This year's model up to 55.
Yeah, they upped it up from 2018 to 19, bumped it up 10 miles per hour.
And if you're looking for a gift for the kiddos this holiday season, I saw you guys talking to Blue before the show about some of the scooters you guys have for those potentially going to college. You have the Stay6, you have the side-by-sides. I mean, you have Kawasaki. You have every single type of different brand that you'd be looking for when it comes to some of those items.
We do. We have almost anything for any generation, any age group. All the way from the youth model ATVs, which are 6 and older, up to the adult toys, and the Slingshots. So we not only sell the Roxors, but we have been a Kawasaki dealer since 1967. Sell Kawasaki motorcycles, their off-road products, Kawasaki mules, which most people have heard of, and we sell Suzuki and their ATVs. And then we also have the Slingshots, and which is part of Polaris, and in the Polaris off-road vehicles. And we have some of the best pricing we've had this year on all those vehicles, roughly up to $4,000 off on a Slingshot, and up to $3,500 off on some of the Polaris vehicles.
Speaking of the Slingshot, you were telling me a story before the show began about a Dallas Cowboy that came in and bought one because at one point you guys were one of the only dealers for like hundreds of miles.
When they first came out, they were very difficult to come by, and he was retired from that. I can't recall his name right now, but we've had people from Denver, Dallas, had a rapper from Atlanta come in and buy them, and so it appeals to all age groups and all types of people. But one thing in common when they take off, just like what Ron did, the smile comes out.
Yes, the smile comes out. You could have seen it from about 10 miles away. I mean, it's a motorcycle. Is that a motorcycle engine in there?
It's actually a car engine in
Okay.
it. They classify it an auto cycle, so you can drive it with just a regular driver's license, but it is an automotive engine. It's a GM engine and transmission.
I mean, and it almost looks like the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
Yes, Bat cycle or whatever, Batmobile. A lot of people refer to it.
Need a flux capacitor in there.
That's right. That's right.
All right, Bill. Hey, we really appreciate you bringing us out today here for this event, and hopefully we'll generate some foot traffic and get some people out of here with some new vehicles.
Well, we hope so, and we encourage people to come by and give us a chance. We will certainly try to be competitive with anybody in the area, and if you find someone that has a price better, just let us know, and we'll try to work something out.
And they're just a few blocks off Garrison on North 11th Street, pretty much the corner of North 11th and J. Wheeler Power Sports, and this Roxor by Mahindra open house event goes today and tomorrow. You can learn more by going to wheelerpowersports.com, a really easy website to learn as well. All right, we got a caller, but Ben, we gotta hope you can hold through the break. We'll continue to talk with you in the second hour with a cherry on the top of halftime this week. 877-377-6963 is the Cherokee Casino hotline, and your calls and texts coming up through 2 o'clock. No guests in the second hour. We will be talking about what's going on here at Wheeler Power Sports, preview of Arkansas-Tulsa basketball, and if there is an announcement, a real announcement, that Barry Odom is the head coach, the defensive coordinator at Arkansas, we will let you know when it becomes official. Because right now, nothing is quite official just yet. Stay tuned. Halftime continues after this top of the hour break.
We wish you happy holidays from Breeden RV in Van Buren, where the year-end clearance sale continues. The holidays can be stressful. Why not take that stress away with the newer used RV? We'll even jingle your bells by letting you pick your deal. Sales tax paid, no payments for 6 months, holiday cash back, more for your trade. You choose the deal that's best for you. Remember, every new RV comes with Breeden's exclusive free maintenance for life.
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Thanks, Eddie. Come see us on Alma Highway in Van Buren or visit us on the web at BreedenRV.com.
See dealer for details.
Always get more at Orr.
We always put the customer first at Orr Chevrolet in Fort Smith. Since 1924, the Orr family of dealerships has grown based on one simple principle. Give the customer more money for their trades and give them a lower price on their new vehicle. It's a simple concept, really, but one that very few dealers honor anymore. Hey, we know you paid a lot of money for your vehicle, and Orr Chevrolet wants to pay you the maximum amount for it today. Then we'll give you an awesome price on a new Chevrolet. But we're not done giving you more. Included with any new vehicle sold, Orr Chevy will also give you a lifetime powertrain warranty, 2 years of free maintenance, and free car washes for life. So come get a lower price and more money for your trade today at Orr Chevrolet on Auto Park Drive in Fort Smith and 24/7 at OrChevyFS.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You always get more at Orr.
The list of things I rely on is short. There's my recliner, the lawnmower, the kid sitter, and above all, Michelin tires. Get the tire that's ready to make every stop in every season. And for a limited time, get yours with a $70 reward card after submission when you buy a set of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires. Your Michelin tires and savings are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. See MichelinMan.com promo for complete details. Offer valid between 11/13/2019 and 12/13/2019. Void where prohibited.
In the moment, who has your back? Do you know the name of your insurance agent? Does your agent know your name? Or would you call a 1-800 number that connects you with Who? Another state? Another country? Get a local independent insurance agent with Auto Owners Insurance. Someone you can call when bad stuff happens. In the moment, get an agent who will protect you in that moment. Kohler and Green Insurance in Fort Smith. Just call 484-9888. And Kohler and Green Insurance in Van Buren. Call 474-9888 and online KohlerGreen.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
An increase in the cloud cover tonight. An overnight low will drop down into the lower 30s. We will see more clouds and sunshine on Friday. Our high just over 50. Saturday, a whole lot of sun. Our high temperatures in the upper 40s north, mid 50s south. And it looks like we'll see some wet weather, possibly a little frozen precipitation early on Sunday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bush and Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Coach Pittman, you got something to say?
Yeah, I do.
Go Hogs! Yes,
sir! Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
It is my pleasure to offer you the opportunity to be the head football coach at the University of Arkansas.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Woo Pig Suey.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Just sticking around with us, halftime in hour number 2. Phil Elson and Ty Richardson live at Wheeler Power Sports at the corner of North 11th and J. Just a few blocks off of Garrison, just off the river. We're here for another hour. And actually, we'll be here for a little longer than an hour because we've got to let Ty Richardson sit with me. You can't do the test driving.
They don't want me driving that sucker.
Slingshot because you can't drive a stick shift.
As long as you promise to go just as fast like you did the first time.
Well, do you want me to fishtail like I did last time too?
Absolutely.
You want to get the full experience.
I got my helmet over there that looks like a war helmet or something, so I'm excited about this. I'll be all strapped in. I got the seat belt, the helmet. I'll be good to go. So if anything were to happen, I'd be just fine.
Just make sure I get another Nathan's hot dog in before I take you on that ride. Just one more Nathan's hot dog before I.
The waft of that is making it in here, and those are so delectable.
They really do. It smells really good. Part of the Roxor by Mahindra Christmas open house event. I just realized that they're making these Roxors in Detroit. Mahindra is a company from India, but they built their own factory in Detroit, and all of these Roxor vehicles are made in Detroit. So I think that's kind of cool because it is Motown, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't think quite as many cars and trucks come out of Detroit than used to, but nice that they've got these ones coming out of there. All right, we've been reacting to the idea. It's not a fact yet, but a rumor coming from Football Scoop. Sources say that Barry Odom will be the defensive coordinator at Arkansas. And Sam Pittman has put out, I guess this is exactly what recruiters do when they land a prospect or a commit, is they put out a tweet that says, it's a great day to be a hog, and he does his whole yes sir thing, which I guess we're going to have to just get used to it, right?
Sir.
So he's
you're getting it's a slogan, buddy. Are you gonna be okay?
I'm fine with it. Look, I got all kinds of slogans. What I say on the broadcast, I've got catchphrases and things that I say. I just want those things to come from marketing people. And look, if this is the one thing that he's got, to me, yes sir, it's just an excitement thing. It's not a matter of this isn't a slogan that feels annoying or that doesn't have or that has some sort of inane meaning to it. It's just an excitement thing, and as long as it just sticks to just the yes sir thing. And if there's any other slogans or catchphrases or hashtags that come out for Arkansas football, let it come from the marketing department, from the people who actually usually do that stuff. All right, but hey, Coach Sam Pittman says it's a great day to be a hog. He yes sirs it, but he doesn't say why. So it's left up to the rest of us to figure it out, and it must be that Barry Odom is going to be the defensive coordinator. Big-time get.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that Football Scoop is correct and accurate when it comes to this report, because that would be huge for this football program.
877-377-6963. That's our Cherokee Casino hotline, taking calls and texts up until 2 o'clock. You want to talk about patient? Ben was on hold for 16 minutes. Ben, really appreciate your patience holding through last segment and through the break. Ben's in Dover. Ben, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. I just had a question about bringing in Sam Pittman for the football program and potentially Barry Odom Jr. What can we expect from this coaching staff rather than what we've seen in the past couple of years?
Well, I mean, what I think, for one thing, you're getting, I think, a more of an experienced coaching staff. I mean, you could take out the idea of John Chavis being the most experienced coach, but the SEC seemed to pass him by because that defense only got worse both years as the season went along. And maybe part of that is that your opponents got better as the season went along, but defensively they got much, much worse. So I think when you have a head coach who's got experience in the SEC as a defensive coordinator, and I'm talking Barry Odom here, this can only be a good thing. Now, there is some continuation from the last staff in good ways, too. If it seems Justin Stepp is going to stick around as the wide receivers coach. And, look, I think you want to keep those receivers happy because that's probably your best position group. Trey Knox, Treylon Burks, Mike Woods. You want to keep these kids happy. And, of course, some of it is getting them the darn football, which it still blows me away that Treylon Burks never caught a touchdown and was barely targeted inside the 20. But you want to keep them happy. So I don't think you wanted the whole staff from the last 2 years to stick around. The two coordinators didn't have much business sticking around. Doesn't look like Hayden Fry is going to stick around. The offensive line did not improve. I mean, obviously, they've already hired a new offensive line coach. So it seems you're going to get a pretty good mix of coaches that have already been here or are coming from other SEC schools. Davis, the O-line coach from Mizzou. Barry Odom, defensive coordinator from Mizzou. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get the entire Missouri coaching staff, nor do you want it.
Yeah.
But it seems like a good mix of coaches that have current experience in the SEC and experience as a head coach from Barry Odom, and I think that goes a long way.
Ben, what I would say is you look at some Arkansas teams over here, the physicality, the toughness they had. There's something to be said about being from Arkansas in this football program, a blue-collar mentality that people look down on you, not only as a state, but a football program, which is so frustrating for me and so many others inside the state because you feel like you're at an inherent disadvantage already based on the United States as a whole, how they think of Arkansas. And so I think what Sam Pittman, he mentioned toughness, he mentioned blue collar, he mentioned a couple other characteristics in this press conference. You just want to be respected. You want, when Saturday rolls around, for teams not to overlook you or just think nothing of you. There was a time that Arkansas, no one wanted to play. And we can even talk about the Brett Bielema days, Ben. You really didn't want to play Arkansas towards the end of the year because of the physicality. I know that the recruiting went by the wayside, and it really looked that Brett kind of let things go at the end once he got that cush new contract. But you want a guy in that helm to bring a sense of toughness, that type of mentality. You want to be respected not only as a fan, but you want to be able to respect your football team. And you simply haven't done that the past couple of years.
Appreciate the phone call, Ben. Let's go back to the lines. John has dialed us up from the capital city. John, what's up?
Hey, not much. It's funny, I follow some stuff on social media, as I think all of us do, and I think it was one of the services, maybe Saturday Down South, I don't know who, had listed the coaches, not just the head coaches, but position coaches, the changeover in the SEC and ranked them. And I think Pittman was fourth. He was ahead of Morris. He was ahead of Dirkwitz. He was behind Bobo, Kiffin, and Luke. And so now you've got a situation where, if the Odom thing is true, Odom might be ahead of Pittman in terms of, a good get in terms of what they would rank a coaching hire in the SEC. And, I think there are enough people kind of putting it out there that it looks like this is going to happen. I think what that goes to show is that there's switch from the mentality of the last coaching staff, where you had a coach who said, everybody's got a vote, and then I've got one more vote, and my vote is the only one that matters. It looks like Pittman is willing to, be. I mean, I think it takes a lot of confidence to be able to hire a head coach at a position. It takes a willingness to learn, a willingness to not necessarily feel the need to control things. And if this is the direction it's going, I mean, that's great. It looks like that he's going to try to go for that CEO kind of position that Orgeron has. I know everybody keeps on comparing him to Orgeron, except the fact that Orgeron had head coaching experience by the time he got to LSU. But if he continues in that mold of a coach, that's making me pleased. So I look forward to it.
John, appreciate the phone call, and I think when you find a hire like Barry Odom as the defensive coordinator, that gives me a thought that when you're looking who's going to be the OC, it's not going to be somebody that's coming from their first job as an offensive coordinator. This isn't going to be a Joe Craddock thing. It's not a yes man, or at least somebody that was Chad Morris's boy that's coming up there with him. I think they're going to get somebody that has some experience, and if you can get a guy who's been a head coach somewhere else and has an offensive speciality, why not? It seems like it'd be an absolute great fit. But that's the next question. If Odom's the DC, who's the OC? And I guess we can kick that around as well as we go throughout the next 40 minutes and change. 877-377-6963, the Cherokee Casino hotline. You can come out and see us here at Wheeler Power Sports, a few blocks off of Garrison near downtown Fort Smith. We're here until 2 o'clock, and we'll be back with more Halftime next.
You're listening to Halftime. This is the Morning Rush.
I do know that Sam Pittman wanted this job. He wanted to be the head coach of Arkansas so badly. He was texting people. He was calling people. He was saying, I want this job, and I will do whatever it takes to prove myself for this job. Luckily for Arkansas, Hunter Yurachek appreciated that, and it resonated with him. So that's why he decided to make the hire of Sam Pittman.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Back again with our friends at World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH. Get all the free extras when you sign up for DISH right now. And, Ben, you can lock in your price for 2 long years when you call World of Wireless now.
That is the best free option, locking in your rate for 2 full years. So sign up before Christmas. We'll get you installed this weekend. Call 877-305-DISH and get all the freebies, but more importantly, get the 2-year price lock.
Movie channels for free. You can even upgrade and get 4K TV in every room.
That's right. The Hopper is 4K ready. You can add 4K Joeys in every room if you'd like. Get the voice remote for free. Get the 3 months of free movie channels. Get the sports pack through the end of the year for free. Free installation, free HD, and a free 2-year price lock.
Plus, you still got some of these tailgaters on the showroom floor here.
Come see us. Tailgaters make a great Christmas gift. Get one of those for your spouse this weekend.
877-305-DISH. Call Ben, get all the details, or stop into the corner of Phoenix and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and sign up now for DISH and lock in your price for 2 years. World of Wireless, your local DISH dealer, 877-305-DISH.
You always get more at Orr.
We always put the customer first at Orr Chevrolet in Fort Smith. Since 1924, the Orr family of dealerships has grown based on one simple principle. Give the customer more money for their trades and give them a lower price on their new vehicle. It's a simple concept, really, but one that very few dealers honor anymore. Hey, we know you paid a lot of money for your vehicle, and Orr Chevrolet wants to pay you the maximum amount for it today. Then we'll give you an awesome price on a new Chevrolet. But we're not done giving you more. Included with any new vehicle sold, Orr Chevy will also give you a lifetime powertrain warranty, 2 years of free maintenance, and free car washes for life. So come get a lower price and more money for your trade today at Orr Chevrolet on Auto Park Drive in Fort Smith, and 24/7 at OrChevyFS.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You always get more at Orr.
Due to public demand, Eagle Crest Golf Course will remain open through the winter months. That's right, Eagle Crest Golf Course is still open, and you can still enjoy one of the best courses in the state with winter rates. Just $35 plus tax, card included, to enjoy the beautiful bent grass greens and the best views of the river valley. Eagle Crest Golf Course is open, and it's only $35 to play. Eagle Crest Golf Course, Highway 64, just east of Alma.
Looking for a bit of cowboy flavor? Introducing Hardee's Southwest Patty Melt, a hearty sandwich with all the taste of the great American Southwest. We're talking a hotter, juicier, thick burger made with 100% black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt, now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
The countdown to Christmas sale is underway at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Here are a few of the great items to please that special someone on your list. Lamo leather moccasins for men and women, $24.99. Case Antique Stockman pocket knife, $49.99 for the hunter. All ground blinds, 25% off. All Scentlock clothing, 30% off. Hurry into Jelco Outdoors. Open 7 days a week now through Christmas Eve. Shop local. And Merry Christmas from Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts, we're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Oh, Harris attacks. I told you. Hot sauce. Extra hot. Habanero.
Rolling along on this Friday live on Wheeler Power Sports on North 11th Street, corner of 11th and J, in downtown Fort Smith. Phil Elson, Ty Richardson, get with us today. Cherokee Casino Hotline open for you at 877-377-6963. Good for a call or a text. Give us your name and location on the texts so that we can give you your proper due. Halftime leading into the weekend, as always, brought to you by an ice cold Coors Light.
Ice cold, cold as the Rockies, Phil. If you're looking to do something this weekend with your buddies, if you're watching, I know you don't have college football, but there's a couple good college basketball games. If you're going to the Arkansas game, doing whatever, get you an ice cold Coors Light. The mountains are blue on it. You know your beer's as cold as the Rockies. And, Phil, I think there's something you're supposed to do when the mountains turn blue.
You shoot at 2.
You shoot for 2. You go for 2. You do whatever it takes to get 2. Coors Light, made to chill.
Arkansas basketball tomorrow. In fact, 24 hours from now, they'll probably be in the second half. Arkansas and Tulsa. Is it an annual game between these two teams? It should be.
They have not played, I don't believe, since 2007.
Okay. The women's teams play each other every year. I know the Arkansas and Tulsa, I think I've called a game between those two teams every season that I've done the women's basketball games, and I would only assume that Arkansas-Tulsa should be an every-year thing in men's basketball. And I guess I would feel the same way about playing Oral Roberts. When you got a city that's got 2 Division I basketball teams like an hour and a half away, why not?
And I think it'd be good for you. I don't know. I know a decent amount of football players, and there's good football at Broken Arrow and Jinx and a couple of surrounding schools in Tulsa. I don't know how the basketball is, but I think for recruiting purposes, you got that. I think Bryce Thompson is a kid out of kind of the Tulsa area. I think they've had some good basketball there, so I think that'd be a good idea just for recruiting purposes. And the best part, and I know this is what you're pulling up, you get Frank Haith back in Bud Walton Arena.
It's 1 year away from, a Mike Anderson-Frank Haith matchup. That would have at least been fun. I'm not saying that he should still be the coach here, but that definitely would be a lot of fun. An 8-2 record for Tulsa. Arkansas, of course, is playing their first game in 6 days tomorrow. Tulsa beat Boise State this Wednesday at home, 69-56. Team that averages about 71 points per game. Don't shoot the 3 all that much. They're defending well, 61 points a game allowed. Opponent shooting 38%. Tulsa rebounds well, which won't play into Arkansas's hands too well. And they also force a few turnovers, 14.5 turnovers a game by Tulsa's opponents. And that's the top of the list right now for Arkansas that they've got to clean up. It's the turnovers. I mean, the team that that you might not have a great shooting night every game. I mean, that can be hot and cold. But one thing you can take care of, no matter where you're playing, home or road or what day it is, you can take care of the basketball much better than Arkansas did against Western Kentucky. And for me, the lack of taking care of the basketball more than anything is why they lost that game.
And you look at the lineups they use, you would think that would be at a premium since they a lot of times have 4 guard/forwards on the floor. And so you think there'd be less turnovers because you don't have as many big men and stuff. But it's just got to be one of those things where I know Eric Musselman has been stressing it all practice long, and they were practicing hard this week. Did you get a chance I didn't ask you this, but on Wednesday they weren't practicing before?
No, they weren't on the court when I got there.
Well, I know it's funny because Phil's obviously gotten a chance to see practice and stuff, so he's talked about the intensity of those said practices. Aaron Torres has come on this very program and talked about experiencing a Nevada practice live and talked about just the tenaciousness of that one practice he saw. I guarantee you with 3 games in 3 weeks, that level's even been up to a little bit of a notch, Phil.
So one of the main differences that I picked up, and it's not that Mike Anderson's practices weren't intense. I think they were intense. There's a different structure, or maybe just the overall structure of the practices under Eric Musselman is one thing that stands out. Practicing more set plays, not just, getting out and running the floor back and forth. So the practices for Musselman definitely are something to watch. So the thing about Arkansas men's basketball, aside from inconsistent shooting, troubles rebounding here and there, and a really good defensive team, is you need somebody else to take over some minutes at some point, because you got 4 players averaging 31 minutes or more per game. Isaiah Joe's averaging 38 minutes. Jimmy Witt, 36 minutes. Desi Sills and Mason Jones, each 31 minutes per game. Then you go to Adriel Bailey at 24, Jalen Harris at 23, and then after that it's Reggie Chaney at 16 minutes per game. Somebody's going to have to take a little bit of the time on the court away. Now, these are well-conditioned athletes. They only have a game a week for the next 3 weeks, I believe, so it's not like they're going to be extremely tired because of the minutes played that build up over the course of the season. But I think you can see an effect of these minutes at the end of games. So that's why, it would be really nice for Gene Tulsilla to do some of the things that I think you expected him to do when he showed up. Knock down a 3 or so, rebound the ball, defend well. And he just I don't think Gintel has been anything what the coaching staff expected. And if he was, I think he'd be getting close to 20 minutes per game. He's averaging 11 minutes.
And just to give that stat and put it in perspective a little bit, Phil, there's 353 teams in college basketball. Arkansas in bench minutes ranks 328.
Wow.
So that's a telling stat, and especially you think about the added it's not added bonus, but the added wear and tear, the fact that they don't really have a big man, so it's that much more banging inside for these smaller guys. So that adds to the tone of their body, just what they're going through in the battles and stuff. So that has to change. You got to get more production from the bench, because for the most part the starters have been pretty solid. I mean, Adriel Bailey so far this season has just been a stud. He's done what he's needed to do on offense, and then even at his frame 6'7", 6'8", he's been a force on defense. But they, as you mentioned, got to get more production from Silla and some of these other guys coming off the bench, because they can't be 328th by season's end and expect to be an NCAA tournament team. It would be very surprising if that was the case.
So I'm not into questioning coaches very much, but the one thing about Muss's lack of using timeouts that I question somewhat, it's not the end of game thing. It's not that I feel he needs to call a timeout and draw up some sort of special play. These guys should be able to take the ball to the hole and create something close to a decent shot when push comes to shove.
Yeah.
It's that if you have a rotation of essentially 6 players and 4 of them are averaging 31 minutes or more, those times out, and I like to say times out instead of timeouts, those times out are a moment to breathe, to rest. That's what Mike Neighbors is doing with the women's team. And you fall into some traps sometimes comparing men and women's basketball, but it is basketball.
The concept is the same.
The concept is the same. Mike's not the kind of coach that just is into calling timeouts to draw up plays. In fact, quite often, he doesn't even say more than 10 words to the team at a timeout. He has them sitting, resting, because Neighbors also has a short rotation, not as short as I think Muss does, But those, you get those media timeouts at each 4-minute set in the half, and you get your 5 timeouts that you can call too. So I mean, it's not going to hurt you if you do call a timeout to give your players a little blow.
Let me play the flip side and the devil's advocate of that. And I know one of the reasons that Eric Musselman, one of the many reasons he says he doesn't call as many timeouts is because he wants to see how his team weathers the storm. And I get the physical condition side of that, but what you're pointing out. But I think he's more trying to see how his team reacts. You've heard him talk about how he coached under Chuck Daly, the legendary coach of the Bad Boy Detroit Pistons, as well as the 92 Dream Team. And then also he admired what Phil Jackson did, is allowing his team to try and weather the storm, to get through stuff. And again, I'm not shoving aside your physical aspect, because I understand that. And I have never played, obviously, the level of competition that these guys are playing and what it takes physically to be able to do that. But I think he's more hitting on that. He's more hoping that they can get through these tough situations throughout the course of the season, so when an opportunity presents itself in the SEC tournament, maybe on the brink of postseason play, they're going to be ready for that. They need to be ready for that, because the last thing you want is for them to not have timeouts, or them to just think the timeout's going to get called and then just get on a 10-0 run on the other team goes on a 10-0 run. You don't need that. So that's the philosophy I think he's going with when it comes to the timeouts using, Phil.
So it's a 12:30 tip tomorrow at Bud Walton Arena. We've got it right here on your ESPN Arkansas affiliate with the Learfield IMG pregame show, 12 o'clock. Chuck Barrett, Coach Z on the call. And then it's, another week before Arkansas plays again. And
That's
they play
so weird
Valparaiso in the Rock at the arena with no teams, which is now called Simmons Bank Arena. And if you're hoping to get tickets to that, and they usually sell that thing out, I took a look at the Ticketmaster page for Arkansas Valpo for next week, and they're down to just a few handfuls of seats in the second level. So there are no more first-level seats. It's all second level. Usually a great atmosphere when Arkansas goes down to play the one game per year in North Little Rock.
Do we get to have another Little Rock debate?
No, not at all. I don't think anybody
That's
debates that you
basketball.
should play basketball there.
That's a great place. Some of my better memories was going down there. I remember my dad was ecstatic because Baylor came down there and just swatted Arkansas. He's just chirping all these Arkansas fans. But that's not my father. I don't condone what he's doing right now.
I'm still telling you, though, and I don't know anything about how Valpo is doing on the men's side. It's the women's game that's the best game next Saturday. Arkansas versus Little Rock. Mike Neighbors versus Joe Foley. The best program in the Sun Belt against a rising program in the SEC. And it's Arkansas versus, and I know they don't call it UALR anymore, but it's Arkansas UALR. I love it. These are my two employers. I've done women's basketball for 14 years. I've worked for the Trojans. I've worked for the Razorbacks. I've worked for both coaches. I cannot wait.
Do you and Shap have a bet?
We don't yet. I guess Shep and me ought to be going toe-to-toe. All right, we'll figure that out. 877-377-6963. Halftime coming back after this.
You're listening to Halftime.
The biggest discounts ever during the end-of-year sales event at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. The 2019 Ford F-150 Crew Cab 4-wheel drive. The lowest price ever, only $34,454. The 2019 Ford Escape slashed to $23,750. And the 2019 Ford Ranger 4-wheel drive, $10,000 off, only $28,999. The biggest discounts ever during the end-of-year sales event at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
The list of things I rely on is short. There's my recliner, the lawnmower, the kid sitter, and above all, Michelin tires. Get the tire that's ready to make every stop in every season. And for a limited time, get yours with a $70 reward card after submission when you buy a set of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires. Your Michelin tires and savings are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. See MichelinMan.com promo for complete details. Offer valid between 11/13/2019 and 12/13/2019. Void where prohibited.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing Altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
December is trading time at Rath Auto Resources. Hi folks, Larry Rath here with our last big promotion of the year. Trading time. With tax season just around the corner, we need your trade. So we're giving up to $3,300 above Kelley Blue Book value when you trade your old ride for a nicer, newer car from our Rath Road Ready inventory. We'll even buy your car. That extra money can go a long way toward helping you get more car or reducing your monthly payment. Plus, if you're one of those waiting on a tax refund, your wait is over. Ask one of our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists how our TaxMax program can get you access to your money now. If you're keeping the car you have, let us get it ready for the new year with buy 3, get 1 free on all tires or a basic oil change for only $24.95 in our Meineke Car Care Center. Start driving better today with Arkansas's #1 rated and reviewed used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center. 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Upgrade your evening on the Avenue. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Jones out between the circles. They've got Anderson out fronting him. Joe inside feeds Witt for a baseline jam. Joe drew the defense. Witt floated the baseline, and the Hogs are up by 3.
Phil Elson, Ty Richardson, thanks to Matty T back in the studios running things. He is a darn good pilot. And we're here at Wheeler Power Sports near downtown Fort Smith, just a few blocks off of Garrison, the corner of North 11th and J. Roxor Christmas open house event going on, but all sorts of other vehicles you can get a look at too. Polaris vehicles, off-roaders. They got this cool slingshot that I got to drive. That's what it sounded like. Well done, Ty. Kawasaki's, Suzuki's, dirt bikes, motorcycles. I even saw a Harley, couple of Harleys over there in the used section. So, yeah, I'm not ready to make that purchase yet, but at some point I might be. Our friend Bill had joined me earlier in the show, said, why don't you get out of here with one of those things? I said, well, I probably need to learn to drive one of them before I make a purchase.
Early Christmas present from Tommy Kraft. Tommy was looking for gifts for the holiday Christmas party.
Oh, motorcycles for everybody.
Yeah.
Or just motorcycle helmets for everybody, and let us decide what we do with it from there.
Have you ever done this? You will have to take you back to Indiana for some of the shenanigans I'm about to get into. Have you ever
meaning my idiocy days as being a college
student? We all had one of our. And it didn't matter if you go to college or not. You're just at one point in your life you did some stupid stuff. Have you ever tried jousting with different, like either on a skateboard or something, where you wear a helmet and you have some type of object and you're going at the other person?
No, I have never jousted before. I try to stay away from long, hard poles, especially when they're being held by somebody and they're pointing them at me.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be sharp. It's some type of weapon that can inflict physical damage on your friend or the other to make it. We've done that before. Not the smartest thing we've ever done.
No, that's not the way you ride a motorcycle properly. Definitely not. You got to know what you're doing with those things. All right, so let's see. News. The Home Depot Awards banquet yesterday, whatever it was. I mean, it's awards soup.
The LSU show?
The LSU show, that's right. I mean, they get the top player of the year. Burrow, of course, is also the best quarterback. And those two awards, the O'Brien and the Maxwell Awards, always end up going hand in hand, don't they? Mm-hmm. And seemingly doesn't the Heisman usually follow suit? Eddie O, Coach of the Year. Brady won the Broyles Award, though that's not part of the college football award show yesterday.
You have Jamar Chase wins the Blinknikoff, the best wide receiver of the year. You mentioned, I mean, it was just, dude, it was the LSU show yesterday. It was wild how many LSU awards were given out, and I think they haven't. When was it? I think it was the 90s. It's the last time that a wide receiver and quarterback have won those respective awards in the same year, I think is what it says. And I think that, I mean, it just shows to go to show you, Phil, how good LSU is this year. Like, you think about that. That's incredible. And I think some some people would have loved to see Ryan Mallett with one of either Greg Childs, Joe Adams, or Jarius Wright, or Kobe that in 2010 possibly have a shot at that award. And they would have been close if they could have beaten Auburn and Alabama. But it's just wild how much talent's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana right now, man.
Do we have an over-under yet on the LSU-Oklahoma semifinal game?
Not seen that yet.
That's just a nuts ball game to look at what you can see with this.
It's because, I mean, LSU.
What do I have here? The over-under 76. 76. What do you think? I think it's going to go. I think it'll go over.
Life's too short to bet the under, but that is a high over-under, Phil. Man.
None of the other bowl games that involve SEC teams are anywhere close to that.
76?
Isn't that something?
76?
That's a year before I was born. That was the bicentennial, 76, and it's a point line for a college football semifinal game. Wow, 877-377-6963. We got to empty out some of the texts here. Justin in Van Buren wonders about what recruits Odom can bring in. Well, you know, you've already gotten at least is it a visit? It's a visit from one of the Missouri recruits who had signed to coach, to work under Brad Davis. I think an offensive lineman. Wasn't it Ray Scott, I think, or was it? It's one of the kids out of Memphis that is now making an official visit to Arkansas this weekend.
There's two of them, and I'm blanking on them both, but they're both 3-star offensive linemen. I think one's last name might be Ferguson. Remember that correctly? I read an article from Nikki earlier this week. I just can't think of it.
Well, hey, I mean, this was a topic of conversation yesterday. It's like the kid who decommits from Georgia, and he says, look, I committed to play for Sam Pittman. I didn't commit to the University of Georgia. And since he didn't put name to paper yet, it's not a real commitment. So he, in his eyes, he committed to the coach. So what sort of – and look, you're not going to get the same recruits to Missouri that you get to Georgia, but with the reputation Odom has, and, I mean, he built a good defense at Missouri, not once but twice.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe –
associated with the many good football teams over the years is the coach's ability to develop. Sam Pittman has shown the ability to take blue chip guys and lesser blue chip. Like, Arkansas had some good recruits. There were some good, like, high profiles like Denver Kirkland and others. And then he picked up some guys that were 3-stars and developed them into a really good offensive line. And then at Georgia, you have the blue chips. You have the bunch of the studs. So that's not as difficult to do when you're getting these guys that are already so talented out of high school. So he's shown the ability to do both. Now it's about assembling a staff, which I think Barry Odom's a great example. It's not like you're getting 4 and 5 stars to Missouri. So he's shown the ability to develop and turn a defense into top 20. Again, they were 17th this year in scoring defense. So that has to be one of the big things that Arkansas gets. Coaches that can recruit, and the ones that develop some of these lesser kids that have Arkansas simmering through their blood, that want to do whatever it takes to help this football game get back to relevancy in the SEC.
Well, here's something I had not seen yet. Nikki Chavanel reporting a few hours ago on Hogbeat that Colin Clay is entering the transfer portal after 1 year on the Hill. And he played a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of the kids who was pretty much forced to play as much as possible on the defensive line. 17 tackles, half a tackle for a loss, and was one of the 13, according to the article here by Nikki Chavanel, 13 historic 4-star signees Morris was able to bring in for the 2019 class. Devin Bush went into the transfer portal. He was one of them, but he's now taken his name out of the transfer portal. And Colin Clay, who's from Oklahoma City, is looking to leave Arkansas. So there's I mean, that's a talented kid right there.
And that was and what's interesting about that, I know he was more probably on the Chad Morris train than him. You talked about a guy that was recruiting other recruits. He was, the leader of that recruiting class in terms of being outspoken?
Gosh, yeah, he was all over the place on social media recruiting many of the other kids that ended up coming to Arkansas and some who didn't.
Did we have him on the show?
I think we did. I think you're right.
At one point, and he was really excited and stuff, and I don't know, similar to what we're talking about, Phil, with people being dedicated to Sam Pittman and some of these kids committing to Sam Pittman. Some of these kids committed to Chad Morris. Some of these kids committed to that coaching staff that Chad Morris assembled. So it helps you in some areas and it hurts you in others, and this could be a potential hurt. But again, one of the unique things about the transfer portal, once you put your name in, you can come back. We've seen that with Devin Bush. He is now he has left the transfer portal and is now back at Arkansas. So maybe Sam Pittman and his newly assembled staff can convince Colin Clay to come back to school, because he's one of your better recruits in this class at Oklahoma City, Owasu maybe, and I think he would be pretty vital piece next year, especially since you're losing so many seniors off that defensive line.
Well, I mean, you'd assume he would have an edge on getting a starting role without question. So and maybe with John Chavis no longer being the defensive coordinator and a new D-line coach coming in, and the guy who recruited him in Chad Morris gone, Colin Clay looking elsewhere instead of the defensive line at Arkansas. 877-377-6963 is our Cherokee Casino hotline. Got one more segment to take your calls and texts today up until 2 o'clock as we're live at Wheeler Power Sports, just a few blocks off of Garrison near downtown Fort Smith. This is part of the Roxor by Mahindra open house event, and it takes you through tomorrow. They're grilling Nathan's hot dogs, which usually is good enough to bring me out. All the fixings go along with it. You can shake our hands. We'll kiss your babies. And get a look at all of the outstanding
20 minutes so you can
beautiful
throw eggs at me after the show.
Inventory that they've got. That's right. And maybe you want to show up to see just how frightened I can make Ty as I fishtail out of the parking lot when I'm test driving the Polaris Slingshot. And again, that'll be in 20 minutes. So forget about coming out during the show. Come out here when the show is done so you can see this guy to my left turn pale white and lose what's left of his hair.
I'm excited. Hey, let's not joke about the hair. Hair's nothing to joke about. I got a buddy who I never thought would bald is starting to bald a little bit. So it's coming eventually, and I'm not looking forward to it, Phil.
All right, one more segment. We'll come back. We'll put a cherry on the top, talk a little bit more of what's going on here, and I guess we got to make a pick Army-Navy, right?
Yeah.
Got to figure that one out. Stick around. We'll close it up next.
Shooters shoot. You're listening to Halftime.
You know, they say that money doesn't grow on trees, but that's not true at Randall Ford. Right now, Randall Ford has its very own money tree, and it only blooms during the month of December. For every new vehicle purchased between now and the end of the year, you have a chance to snag one of the prizes off our Randall Ford money tree, which can be worth up to $500 in cold hard cash. So hurry on into Randall Ford, pick out a brand new shiny vehicle, and take your special prize off of our money tree.
Barley is the soul of Budweiser. That's why we've been working with the same family-owned American farms for more than 50 years to harvest it. The secrets to growing this grain perfectly have been passed down through 3 generations. For them, it's a legacy. And it's why only the best barley and locally sourced ingredients are used to make Budweiser. Budweiser is proudly raised across America. This Bud's from our barley farmers. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas from Frank Rowe Furniture. Here at Frank Rowe Furniture, for the month of December, is offering no sales tax and free delivery. What a wonderful gift for Christmas to our customers. We carry many made-in-the-USA products, including Catnap, Best Home Furnishings, Union Furniture, Affordable Furniture, and Speed Queen Laundry. We offer several financing options, including in-house, no-credit check financing. Merry Christmas from Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Frank Rowe Furniture. Best seats in the house.
You've worked hard your whole life anticipating the day you could finally retire. If that day is near, there are 5 things you need to do. Spend wisely, understand your retirement plan distribution options, plan for your required minimum distributions, know your Social Security options, and consider phasing. Call Brad Lewis at United Financial Advisors to discuss these steps in detail at 242-7466 or through our website at ufadvisors.net.
Securities and advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associates, member FINRA SIPC. United Financial Advisors is a marketing destination.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
Come Get You Some has been proudly serving the Fort Smith and surrounding area for over 18 years. They sell and install lift kits, wheels, tires, leveling kits, LED lights, differential gears and lockers, and so much more. They also repair vehicles as well. Do you need ball joints, tie rod ends, or just have that pesky service light on? They can help with that too. With a full selection of AN fittings, custom brake lines, and thousands of tabs and brackets in stock, they have those hard-to-find parts for the build-it-yourselfer. Come get you some. 2728 Towson Avenue, 479-782-6833.
Is your home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, our crews will install measures that will save you money. The services provided through this program are absolutely free to qualifying homes. If you could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E at 1-800-272-9741. That's 1-800-272-9741.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Kohler & Green Insurance in Fort Smith. Just call 484-9888 and Kohler & Green Insurance in Van Buren. Call 474-9888 and online kohlergreen.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Touchdown!
Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Jones, 5 seconds, 4 seconds to shoot. Mason kicks it away. Joe, three-pointer good. With 3.8 seconds to play, Joe cans the three.
We're on the top of this show today. I guess we're looking at Army-Navy. That's the one game you got this weekend. And why not? That's a game. Everybody always says that's a game that they want to go to before they die. Why not? I mean, like 65,000 people in the Philadelphia Stadium. I forget, but the Link. It's still Lincoln Financial Field. They moved the game there. I mean, they've played it there quite a bit over the years, but now I think that's 5 straight years that Philadelphia hosts the annual Army-Navy game. 115 prior matchups, Army versus Navy. And get a load of this. There's just a 4-game separation of the all-time series.
It's like Duke, North Carolina basketball. It's decided, it seems like, by a game or two every single year.
You know what it's like? It's like Henderson versus Ouachita. It's the Battle of the Ravine. I think it was tied coming into this season. They've played each other over 100 times. It's nuts to think that. And that's what makes a rivalry, right? That one team does beat the other every once in a while. So Army's won the last 3 years. Before that, Navy had a streak of 14 straight victories. Navy's had the better of the season by far. By the way, Navy leads the all-time series 56-52, and there have been 7 tie games, which is, you just think of Army and Navy tying, a stalemate between the service academies.
Unpatriotic.
It should just never be allowed to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Army's 5-7. Navy is ranked. Navy is the 23rd ranked team in the AP poll, and their 2 losses have come to Memphis and Notre Dame. So pretty good teams that they lost to. Navy's in the American Athletic Conference, and 9 wins, 2 losses. They are favored in this ball game by 10.5. And I don't see how you don't go with Navy in this ball game. 10.5. I'll take the midshipmen to cover.
I'll take Army then, since we're going to do
Why
that.
not?
Might
as well. It's the only way I can actually catch up to you. So thanks.
It's what, 48-33 is the betting standings right now. I got 6 points last week. I think you got 5. So we got a lot of bowls coming up, buddy. We're good.
Seem trying to be nice. Seem trying to make me feel better about the fact that I'm getting crushed this year in the football picks, and I'm going to have to. Can I instead of eating the spiciest sauce that I could ever find, why don't you just let me test drive one of these slingshots again and say the loser gets that?
How about you stand in the middle of the road and I get to hit you with it as the punishment?
Oh, my Lord. I would just let you driving it with me sitting next to you would frighten me to death.
That's frightening. So we're here. We're at Daniel Blue down here at William Power Sports Blue. Last year, this guy lost in the most excruciating way possible. We are tied in the national championship game, and I decided that I thought Clemson was going to get the ball first and score first. He got Alabama. Blue, Clemson gets the ball. They go 3 and out. They punt it away, and I'm thinking, I'm screwed. Tua's going to throw a little slant route to Henry Ruggs, and he's going to house it.
It all came to who scored first in the championship game. That decided our picks last year.
And Tua throws that what looked to be a bubble screen. It gets picked off, and he goes out. And I'm at the bar just standing up. I'm with Scott Blair, John, and Tommy just screaming. And I just text Phil. What did I text you again?
Hey, buddy.
just
very simple, hey, buddy text.
And then he had to do the polar plunge after that. So
as well just stuck the middle finger up for me right then and there at that moment.
Yeah, it was.
So did we pick out the hot sauce for this year?
Reaper Squeezins is the one somebody wants to get. The Brett from Spyro wants us to do Reaper Squeezins.
Okay.
I've seen some other sauces that have some names that you can't say on radio.
Yeah.
That might burn my esophagus a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the idea of test driving another slingshot instead of eating spicy wings, right?
So he had to do a polar plunge last year, and we'll transition that. What is this frozen knuckle challenge?
So it's the frozen knuckles challenge. So kind of like talk of Pittman and Barry Odom today. This is the off season for football. So a lot of people consider this the off season for motorcycle riding because you see the temperature drop. Actually, not a bad day today.
This is a great day to be outside riding.
Great day, as you could tell with the slingshot that you were riding earlier. But anyways, so we're trying to get people out. We want to really reward the enthusiasts that are still riding their bikes this time of year. We're going to be running this through March 7th. So for right now, come in here, come to Wheelers Power Sports. All you got to do is show up on your motorcycle. We'll come out there. We'll log your miles on your bike, look at the odometer, and then we'll reward you just for riding this season. For every 500 miles you ride, you'll get points. For every check-in you have at Wheeler Power Sports, you'll get points. And then for any purchase you make while you're in here on your bike, you'll get points. And these points can be redeemed for gift cards that you can use here on future purchases. So it's really a good deal. We'll end it on March 7th. On March 7th, we'll announce the winner. Whoever gets the most miles, which we have several people that are it's a tight race right now. So once we get those logged in, most miles will get a $50 gift card on top of anything else that they've already they gotten throughout the competition. So
what if somebody goes riding through the snow and actually shows up with literally frozen knuckles?
we
Do
might
they get some extra points?
Yeah, we might have to give them double points for that. We'll be doing stuff like that throughout the whole winter. We'll have double points weekends and stuff like that. So you'll have to check out our Facebook page and check out WheelerPowersports.com to look out for those.
I saw a video of a guy who goes surfing on the Great Lakes this time of the year, and he legitimately had a huge beard. I mean, the icicles on his beard weigh more than Ty Richardson weighs.
My.
I don't think you're looking for exactly that sort of response. You don't want people to actually have.
Is that before or after Jerry Neals?
Probably after I eat all $25 worth of the gift card. So I remember like we were talking about before we came on, just like riding when I had a scooter in college, like riding the scooter and stuff, and you and I were just kind of looking over the inventory you guys have. I mean, this is a great opportunity for the parents that they can't figure out what their kids would want for Christmas or something. I mean, you guys have so much here that's on sale right now. It's a perfect opportunity for those going to college or just kids in general.
Yeah, like Ty was mentioning, we got the Kymco scooters over there. We got some 49cc's. We got this new for the younger kids. We got the StaySick electric bikes. It's running on lithium batteries that they can use. It's for probably 4 to 7 year olds. But the great thing about that is it really gets them enthused about motorcycles. It gets them started on it. And for kids that are scared to get on it, they have 3 different settings on there. So you're not just going to throw them on a little powered bicycle and get them out there. What this does is there's a setting where if it's a younger kid, maybe it's a 4-year-old, and they're looking to have a slow start, then you can set it to the lower setting, or you can set it to the mid setting for those of the intermediate riders, and the ones that really want to whip it out and get up to about 11 miles per hour, they can really get up and go on there. So those are the pre-settings that the parents can set it to. And also on top of that, we're getting new helmets in weekly. If you haven't been by here in a while, we have a lot of new helmets, riding gloves. We got everything here for basically any age group.
I think you guys have the coolest selection of jackets, like in the entire area.
Yeah, we got a whole back wall of jackets, all sizes, all different colors. So, like I said, if you haven't been by here in a while, if you're kind of a late Christmas shopper like I am, or like some people in here have mentioned, that it's a good place to show up. We got gloves, little stocking stuffers. You got everything here.
All right, it's Wheeler Power Sports, just off of Garrison near downtown Fort Smith, corner of 11th and J, and they got the hot dog still grilling out right now.
Yep.
So you got this going on today and tomorrow.
Yep, we'll be here tomorrow. If you want to come down and test drive the Roxor, come down tomorrow. We'll have to be at the Christmas parade downtown too with our Roxor and Slingshot. So yeah, come out and see us.
Well, this is a great location. We appreciate you having us out today, and more than anything, thanks for allowing me to test drive that thing. I had to sign a waiver, but it goes along with the territory, and that was fun. If I had the cash, I'd be spending it on one of those things, because that thing is more fun to drive than anything I've ever driven.
Yeah, no, and I'm excited to actually get in it now after this. Now that we got the
That's right.
everything working. I'm putting on the helmet though. I'm supposed to do that, so I'm excited, dude. Please don't like fling me like you're strapped in and then you intentionally like turn like a left and then just fling me out. Please don't do that.
I'll try to make sure that I do that and try to keep you as safe as I possibly can, Ty.
Thanks, buddy.
As safe as I possibly can. Daniel, thanks again for having us out and for coming on with us today. This was a lot of fun to come out and do this. You know, the last I want to ask, these Roxors here. These are made in the USA, right? These are right in Detroit.
Yep. As you were mentioning, it's got the steel frame on there. It's a real rugged machine. It's not just a toy. You're doing some work in those things, so they're the real deal.
The one that you drove, Ty, has a tow cable on the front of it.
Does it really?
Yeah. I mean, it's
got the winch.
Okay. I didn't even notice that. Hey, real quick before we let you go, Chiefs winning this weekend?
Probably. I'm a pessimistic fan, but probably it's supposed to snow. It'll be a good game.
Will Arkansas basketball win tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
You think they'll bounce back well at home?
I think so.
You think this is a team that might have some trouble winning on the road this year?
They may, but we always do. So
yeah, most teams do, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it should be a great day for basketball tomorrow. Daniel, thanks again, man.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
You got it. Daniel, who brought us out here from Wheeler Power Sports. You got a lot of people milling around here. I guess they came out to watch me snap your neck around a little bit, Ty. I can't wait to get it done. Can't wait to get it done.
Even Lance is here. Lance wanted to see it as well. So
it's the event that everybody's coming out for. Drag racing with one vehicle and one screaming passenger. All right, so big thanks to Matty T running things back in the studios today. We could not do it without the one and only Matty T.
The man with the best movie selection I have ever made and the best movie suggestions. It seems like every time that one of you recommend me something, he gives me the additional material that I need to watch that said movie, that said TV show.
Well, now I know for a fact because Hunter Thompson is inside the Roxor by Mahindra Literature that I'm going to assign you reading Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas next week.
Okay.
It's actual reading. It's not a movie. It's not a TV show.
Magazine,
it's not a song. It's not food. It's a real book made out of paper, printed on it. You've tried these things before, right?
Every once in a while. I used to be more of an avid reader. I need to get back into the habit, honestly.
And maybe, just maybe, you can read it on your iPad. Maybe that'll make you a little more comfortable.
I guess. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, Phil.
All right, well, the big news today, although it still hasn't been confirmed by the university, Barry Odom apparently would be the defensive coordinator at Arkansas. So you have some of the staff figured out, and maybe next week we'll have the rest of the staff to talk about as well. Have yourself a great weekend. For Ty, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.